Hey there, my conscious celestials. My name is 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗏 and I'm here to help you consciously create the life that you desire. So, if you are coming from part one, then well done. I'm proud of you for being open and honest with yourself for the past week. I hope you genuinely have been honest with yourself, and I hope that you have found it helpful, and by using the journal and writing down your thoughts and your feelings, etc., I hope that it has been a very productive and helpful week for you. If you haven't seen part one, genuinely do not skip part one. Stop this video now and go back to part one, listen to what I say in part one, and make sure that you do part one, because it's vital for you to have done it and to be able to see how you create your current reality. Now, if you have done part one, and you're ready to move on to part two, I hope that from doing your journal, from taking notes of your thoughts, your feelings, etc., surrounding love, you probably would have noticed that a lot of it currently is negative thoughts. It's things that you perceive to be negative. And the main reason I wanted you to do part one, and it's important that you do part one, is to allow you to understand that the thoughts, your feelings, etc., that you have about love is creating your current situation. It's for you yourself to see, and you'll probably start, if you really notice things down, if you just look back in your journal, you would have noticed a pattern, and you would have noticed that these thoughts and these feelings are relating to what you are experiencing. And that is because you cannot experience anything that you don't first experience in your mind. There's nothing that you experience, that you perceive, etc., that has not come from your mind. So I hope by doing the journaling, you can see why you are in the current situation that you are in regarding love, whether that being how you feel about yourself and your self-love, or whether that being an ex or a specific person, or just relationships in general. I hope that by doing that, and looking back at your thoughts, you're able to see how you are creating and how you are also sustaining your current reality. Now, you also would have seen as well that the current reality that you have is an effect of your thoughts. Your mind is the cause, and this reality is just an effect. And that effect comes from the thoughts and the feelings that you have and that you would have seen in your journal. Now, another thing I wanted you to take away from part one and to be able to realize and understand is that to create, to manifest, to create, etc., the current reality that you have, you didn't have to do any kind of special technique, did you? You literally had those thoughts, had that feeling, had that mental diet, had that conversation with yourself in your mind, had those feelings and thoughts about that particular thing. You didn't have to go to sleep in that particular state. You didn't have to script. You didn't have to visualize necessarily. Obviously, images might come up in your head, but you didn't necessarily have to visualize. You didn't have to do any special technique. You didn't have to fall asleep in the state. You didn't have to repeat that one affirmation 100 times a day, 400 times a day. You didn't have to do anything special to create your current reality. And I wanted you guys to do that, to see that for yourself, and to understand that you're always creating your reality due to your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions, your belief, your expectations, etc. But that you are also creating without having to use any particular technique. It's just, you are just doing it naturally. That is just your natural way. And obviously, it's the law's job to create, but you yourself, and your role and your job in this is just to have those thoughts and those feelings that you do. And that is what is creating your current situation. So I hope by doing week one, you've also been able to see that and experience that for yourself. If you are not still fully convinced that you are creating your reality, and that those thoughts and feelings that you are having are creating your reality and are creating the current situation that you have now in regards to love, don't just do week one as a week. Obviously, I'm putting these videos out on a weekly basis, but that does not mean that you have to do part one for 1 week, do part two for another week. Take as much time as you personally need before you move on to the next step. And I say that because if you don't already fully understand and can fully see for yourself and fully now believe and understand that you are creating your reality, I wouldn't necessarily tell you or advise you to move on to part two, just because it's going to be redundant for you if you don't already if you don't fully understand and can see how you are creating your reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you don't have to feel that and understand that within a week. Take as much time as you need, and when you are ready, come back to week 2. But if you are ready, then let's get on to it. Okay, so hopefully you now understand and can see, or it's important for you to understand, that everything starts with you. Everything starts with your mind. Nothing to do with your outside, no matter what your situation is with love, especially, I say this, especially if there's a specific person, if there's an extra trying to manifest back and it went badly and whatever. None of that is down to the outside. It's due to your mind, your beliefs, your assumptions, etc., etc. And I hope that you're able to understand that. And because of that, when it comes to love, when it comes to manifesting love, of course, if you've clicked on these videos because you genuinely are in a state where you just want to focus on yourself and just focus on self-love, then great, perfect. If you've come to these videos because you want to manifest your ex back, you want to manifest a specific person, etc., etc., I'm going to tell you that for this week, the main focus and what you need to focus on is your self-love. Now, I say this because, of course, right? So this whole thing to do with self-concept, you don't need self-concept to be able to manifest things. You can manifest things without a perfect or a great self-concept, right? However, if you manifest those things, great. Now, for example, if you manifest the relationship that you want, if you manifest getting that ex back, if you manifest a particular relationship, great. Things will be great, things will be good. But because at your core, you still have those beliefs about yourself, especially if it's an ex. Now, especially if like a situation went bad or like whatever happened that caused you guys to break up. If you don't focus on yourself, you don't focus on your self-love, and you just decide to go straight for manifesting that person back, straight just to manifesting the relationship, manifesting your ex back, etc., etc., you will manifest them back. But you haven't worked on your core. So the same things that happened before are going to happen again, because you still at your core have those beliefs about yourself that cause the situation that you are in now. So you have to focus on yourself first, and this will make everything so much easier. It also will bring you to a place where manifesting your SP is not going to be something that you put on a pedestal anymore. It's not going to be that SP, that person is not going to be something that you see as so far out of your reach, and you're coming from a place of like victimhood and just feeling like less than, etc., etc. Manifesting the SP is going to be so much easier. Manifesting a relationship is going to be so much easier. Manifesting love in general is going to be so much easier when you focus on yourself and you understand as well that everything comes from you. So we need to fix you first and your concept and your self-love, etc., before you go to focus on the other person. It should never be about anything outside of you. Like I said, the whole point of week 1 was for you to understand that it does not matter what the circumstances are outside of you. Everything starts with you. So the best thing you can do and the best place for you to start is to start with you. Don't worry or care about anything else outside of you, especially when it comes to love. Do not worry or care about that other person or you needing to feel love from this other person. The love needs to start with you. Because as well, what is the point of doing all of that, disciplining your mind, manifesting your ex back, etc., manifesting that relationship, to then just be back at square one? Like, the whole point is that we don't want to have to constantly be trying to like maintain this routine of like, I have to do this and I have to do that to manifest this and I have to maintain it, because if I don't, then I'm going to go back to whatever. It needs to just be your natural state. So when it comes to manifesting love, love needs to be your natural state, and then from there everything else is so much easier. It's not going to be a constant battle. It's not going to be good for a few months and then you slowly go back into your old ways and then you're back in, you know, the situation that you are in now, etc., etc., and then you're having to manifest again. Like, that is just pointless. It's tiresome. It doesn't feel good. It's upsetting, etc., etc. And I don't want you guys to have to go through that. So you have to understand that you can only experience what you generate in your mind, and others around you are only going to reflect that back to you. Same with love. When you focus on your self-love, you focus on loving yourself, you focus on feeling love in general and not just feeling love on from one particular person, everyone around you, everyone that you meet, everyone, etc., is going to reflect that back to you, because you can only experience what you generate in your mind and what you think and feel about yourself. So you are on these videos because you desire love. Now, if you desire love, you need to abandon everything that doesn't make you feel that. So for this week, I want you to focus on, the first thing is to focus on generating the feeling of love. What makes you feel love? Whether that, it doesn't, and don't put the focus necessarily on that one specific person if it is an SP, or if it is necessarily, if you are just manifesting a relationship in general, don't just put it necessarily on relationships. If you're doing self-love, if you're doing this for self-love in general, then it's the same. The thing I'm going to tell you is the same across the board. Focus on what makes you feel love in general. Think about those memories that you have. Think about those people in your life. Think about, it doesn't even have to necessarily be people. If you love animals, if seeing animals and being around animals makes you feel love, either go and physically do that or think that. Generate feelings and do things that make you feel love. You need to abandon anything that does not make you currently feel love. So generate the feelings of love. Generate feelings that make you feel important, attractive, blessed, like all those things that you associate with love and love in general. Focus on generating those feelings. Do things that make you generate that feeling. Think about things that make you generate that particular feeling. And like I said, find reasons and ways to generate that feeling. If, like I said, if you love animals and being around animals makes you feel love, go to your friends that have animals. Go to like a cat cafe, or go like puppy yoga or anything. It doesn't matter what animal it is that you like. Go and do something. If painting makes you feel love, if spending time with friends makes you feel love, if spending time with family makes you feel love, if whatever it is, anything that makes you feel the feelings of being important, the feelings of being attractive, the feelings of love, etc., go and do the things or think about the things that are going to generate those feelings for you. So for the next week, your task is in your everyday life to generate, to feel, to find ways to generate and feel feelings of love. Now, if there is a particular SP that you are trying to manifest, and when you think about that person currently at the moment, that SP is making you feel unworthy, unloved, unimportant, unattractive, etc., then you need to abstain from thinking from them. This week is about you. This week is about focusing on you and generating the feelings of love. So think about other things, and like I said, do other things and experience other things that make you feel and generate the feeling of love for this week. This is your task, to generate the feeling of love within you and by yourself, because you don't want to self-sabotage. Like I said, if it's an SP you're trying to manifest and it's making you not feel those feelings of love and generating those feelings of love, then you're just going to self-sabotage. And for this week, you need to abstain from that. Abstain from those feelings. Make it your task, make it the most important thing you do for yourself this week, to generate feelings of love. Because love is something that you give to yourself by feeling love and picturing yourself being great. Like that's what it is about. You give love to yourself. That is how you feel love, by giving it to yourself. And your task this week is to nourish yourself with that. Do not rely on others to feed you. Your task this week is to nourish yourself with the feelings of love. It's not anyone else's task. It's not anyone else's responsibility. It's not that specific person. It's not that relationship. It's not whatever to do that. It is your task to nourish yourself. Of course, like I said, if the people around you make you feel that, etc., think about them, spend time with them, but know that it's not their task to do that. You are doing this for you, and you're trying to generate those feelings for yourself, so that every time you want to generate the feelings of love, you can think about that time that you spent with your friends. You can think about the time that you spent with those animals, with whatever it is that you like to do. You're doing things so that you're able to generate that feeling, and you can feel what it feels like. So then on your own, you're able to generate that feeling again by thinking about that particular event, that particular person, etc., etc. It's about generating the feeling of love. Now, eventually, the people around you will start to reflect those feelings of love that you feel about yourself, the feelings of love in general, because that is the law. That is just how the law works. But you cannot have something that you do not generate yourself for yourself. You need to generate the feelings of love for yourself first before you are going to be able to properly experience it outside. Because like I said, as you will see from week 1, everything starts with you. The cause for everything is within your mind and your thoughts and your feelings. So if you get to a place where you are just naturally feeling and generating love within yourself, of course you're going to experience that outside of you, because that is your natural state. That is how you feel in general. That is your state of mind. All your thoughts and feelings are then coming from that particular state, and then you'll be able to experience that outside, and then you will be able to experience that in your 3D. So don't let anyone deprive you of that desired state. Don't let the fact that if it's an SP that they're not texting you back, or they're not calling you, or whatever, or just whatever your situation is, do not let anything outside of you deprive you of the state of love. So your only job is to generate love. Your only job this week, your only task this week is to generate love. And like I said, if you fully understand week 1, if you don't yet, then go back to part 1. But if you have fully understood what I was trying to get you to do in part 1, you will understand that it is your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, etc. that create. So by doing this now, you will understand that by you generating love, by you generating the feeling of love and feeling it for yourself within yourself, of course you are going to experience it outside of you, because that is how the law works. And that is why I made you do what you did in part 1. And that's why it's so important for you to fully do it and fully understand it and fully experience it for yourself. And also by doing that, it should make this part 2 so much easier for you, because now you're at a point where you're like, okay, cool, I understand now that how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking about, how I'm feeling, what I'm expecting, etc., etc., is creating. So why would I want to continue creating that undesired reality by what I was doing before? Let me actually generate what I want to experience. And if I want to experience love, then I need to generate love within me. Those kind of thoughts and feelings that I need to be having need to be coming from a state of love. So it should make everything so much easier for you, and it will make things so much easier for you. Picture yourself being loved by millions. Picture yourself being loved by everyone. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as the feelings that you are generating are giving you the feelings of pure love, the feelings of importance, the feelings of, being blessed and just being important, attractive love, etc., etc. The main goal here is to generate the feelings of love. Don't just focus on love being from one particular source. This is more important specifically to people that are trying to manifest an SP, or more manifest like an X back. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Manifest an X back. Don't focus on love from your SP being the only source. Like, you are depriving yourself from love by doing that. If you have this mindset that you can only manifest love from this one specific person and that's it, that is a poverty mindset. You need to have like an abundance mindset. There is love everywhere. There is so many sources and so many possibilities that you can experience love. Have an abundance mindset whereby you understand and you know that love is everywhere, and you can receive love. You can receive love from everywhere. When you're able to understand that, and when you are generating that, and when you are generating the feelings of love, don't focus on just one particular source. Know that love is abundant, and you can experience love from so many different sources. When you're able to generate that feeling and you understand that, and you are generating that feeling, having love and having that SP and generating love from your SP will be effortless, because of course you can have love. Like, love needs to just be your nature. Love needs to be something that is so abundant and all around you, and something that you just naturally experience, you naturally feel, for it to be so that it feels so much more effortless when it comes to your SP, and therefore it will make it effortless. But don't just focus on getting love from one particular source. You are depriving yourself by thinking in that way and doing that. Love is abundant, it's all around, and those are the things that you need to generate. That's why I'm saying not to focus on just getting love from your SP. When you're thinking about generating those feelings of love, don't necessarily just think about that one particular source. Like, there's so many experiences that you've had in your life, or that you can experience, or that you are experiencing, where it can still generate the feelings of love. It's not just from that one person. That is not your only source. So yeah, don't focus your entire power and your sense of love and etc on one person. Like I said, the task for this week is to generate feelings of love this week. Generate feelings of love. Think about what makes you feel love. Do the things that make you feel love. Abandon things that don't make you feel love for this week. Your task this week is to understand and to on a daily basis, every single day, and like throughout your day, generate feelings of love by thinking about people that make you feel loved, by doing things that make you feel loved, by experiencing things that make you feel loved, etc. The task for this week is to focus on generating love and understanding that love is all around you, and to not put that love just on one particular source. You are generating it within yourself, because like I said, you cannot experience something outside of you, and especially when it comes to love or anything, but you cannot experience love outside of you if you do not generate love yourself and for yourself. So yeah, that is your task for the week. You guys, next week Sunday, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.